Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we are back to discuss another delicious Rangers rumour which separates this from the last couple. However, this one's got a wee bit of legs to it and actually makes a wee bit of sense. I know, that'll never catch on. But before we go any further on with today's video, I just need to say a thank you from me to thee, ladies and gentlemen, because the support has been unreal since our channel has been nominated for that Football Content Awards. The amount of people who's reached out and said they voted, sent pictures and everything like on Instagram, tagged absolutely everywhere. It's just been overwhelming, lads, and just genuinely a fantastic feeling all week. Every time I've been getting it, I've just been really buzzed. That's the positive side of social media, and you guys have been absolutely killing it. Now, this will be the last time I actually mention it, because this will be the last video I make before voting closes. But just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, or even if you want to vote again, as it now allows people to vote again for whatever reason, if you want to vote, the link for that is down there in the description below. And we will find out very shortly if our channel has bagged an award, which is just incredible and mad to actually think about. But anyway, let's get on with today's video then, shall we, as we have a delicious Rangers rumour to break down. And as always, whenever we do these types of videos, we will look at the player profile, we will look at the football and CV, and we will break down the old competition for places, which in this case is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and I think explains everything regarding this transfer. But before we have our say on whether or not Rangers are actually in for him, let's have a wee look at the player and see if they should be. Now, Vaclav Hladky is a 6'3" goalkeeper who will be a free agent come the 31st of June. And apologies, by the way, if I've absolutely butchered that man's name. I felt it. I'm going to be brutally honest, right? I felt it, ladies and gentlemen. But again, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be white. I'm just dumb. And that was genuinely me trying my best to pronounce it. But as we said, Vaclav is currently waiting the end of his contract before moving on to another club after a truly fantastic season in the top flight of Scottish football for St Mirren. I mean, if you watched any of the SPFL show, even one episode of the SPFL show on this channel last season, odds are very high you've heard us talk about this goalkeeper, because nearly every single week he was a standout. Whether they were winning games or not, it was never down to the fault of this lad. You couldn't look and say, oh, he's coached his team there. He played at such a high level all the way throughout the season. It was scary in his reaction, saves, and the sheer volume of saves this lad was forced to make per game is absolutely mental. But just in case you didn't see him throughout the season, you can take what you saw versus Rangers, especially that 1-0 win versus St Mirren, where the lad made, I don't know, it seemed like 12 saves in the game. The fantastic performance he put in that game, you can take that and spread it against absolutely everyone in the league. And I really feel that's really important to mention regarding this transfer, because we've seen so many players, I mean numerous players over the years, for as long as you've supported Rangers, you've seen these types of players who, when the lights get brighter and Rangers and Celtic come into town, they get better, but when it's against the other teams, they sort of fade away and become average. But every time Rangers, every time Celtic, they raise their game again. Well, we've seen these types of players before, but I can honestly say that this lad right here, Vaclav, isn't one of them at all. But don't just take my word for it. I'm sure there's going to be some people who also saw this lad play that can dive into that comment section and back everything I've just said up. The level that this lad played it from the first whistle to the last, he has to be considered one of the best goalkeepers in our league. But to finish his player profile correctly, what is his biggest strengths as a goalkeeper? Well, to me, it's his positioning and those reflexes, especially considering this is the goalkeeper who saved 3 Dundee United penalties in the playoff final to keep them in the championship for another year. That alone deserves a 1-year deal, in my personal opinion. But pulling in the reins back to this season then, shall we? In league football, before the season was ended early, he played 30 games in total, conceding 41 goals and keeping 10 clean sheets. Which again, if you saw how many times he was called into action per game and was forced to make a save per 90, it makes those numbers pretty decent, to be fair, especially the 10 clean sheets for St Mirren. But that's just league football. Let's look at all competitions this season for St Mirren. He played 38 games, conceding 51 goals and keeping 14 clean sheets. It's also worth noting, by the way, that the man did pick up 2 yellow cards throughout the season, as well as he does love a wee bit of a moan. I guess you could say he's got a wee bit of shagger in him. Actually, I can't say that. Anyway, let's move swiftly on then, shall we, and finish off his footballing CV the right way by looking at absolutely everything. At the age of 29 years old, he has played 147 games, he has conceded 201 goals, and he has kept 42 clean sheets. And with all that being said, that is the player profile, that is the numbers, and that is the footballing CV wrapped up in a neat little bow. Now it's time to return our attention to what I find is the most interesting part of this entire Rangers rumour, and that is the competition for places. Because naturally, I'm sure some of you guys who's watching today's video will be listening through all this saying, CJ, what are you talking about here? We didn't need another goalkeeper. We have Alan McGregor, who is our undisputed number one. We have Andy Firth as a backup, and we have young Robbie McCrory as the future number one. And all that, you're absolutely spot on. But as we've spoken about here on the channel now a few times, yes, Robbie McCrory is being lined up as the successor and future number one at Rangers Football Club. But is he ready to take the mantle yet? Nah. He needs more top flight experience. He was expected to get a lot more at Livingston, but obviously the season ended early, only managed to play the games that he actually played. He needs to go out and spend another season at the top flight of Scottish football, getting that experience and sharpening up. It's very, very similar to what Rangers did a hell of a lot of years ago with a young Alan McGregor who spent a bit of time over in Dunfermline sharpening his tools and coming back to Rangers a much more established goalkeeper, having that confidence and again sharpening up on some of those things that he wasn't quite great at yet. That was the plan in January when he got pulled from Queen of the South and loaned directly to Livingston in the top flight, and I don't see that changing any time soon. So with the future loaned out at the football club, that leaves us with only Alan McGregor and Andy Firth. And we've seen from the rotation that Gerrard likes to do, especially in the cup competitions, that McGregor does get rested, because as much as we didn't like to say it, and I honestly I feel ill about to say it, but he's getting older now, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to be here forever. That hurts me, I know, but there has to be rest and he needs to be managed. So that's why you saw Fods, that's why you saw him kept around for as long as he was, to be that guy to play in some of the games to split the load for Shagger. But with Fods gone, with Anik gone now, there is no natural number two at the football club. And I mean in no disrespect to Andy Firth, by the way, I really like the guy, he loves the club, he's just living the dream, as we like to say. But in my personal opinion, we need a more experienced goalkeeper who can be called upon. Now again, the argument could be, to have experience you need to be given experience, but I just find where we are as a football club right now, with how desperate we are to win things, I don't think we have that time now to bed someone in and give someone a chance. I think we need an out and out, basically number one goalkeeper for our cup games as well. And if we're just being honest, given the season that man's just had, if he came in the door, not only is he going to be playing in the cup games, but he can also be challenging and keeping McGregor on his toes as well. And we've seen that over the years, maybe not recently obviously with the way stuff's been going, but in the years gone past, having McGregor and having Alexander and even going further back than that, two goalkeepers battling for the number one jersey is what's needed in a team that wants to win things. It keeps both of them on their toes, and that battle right there could be very, very interesting. Not that I'm saying that you'll beat McGregor to the jersey and like that, but could he keep McGregor at his best for a wee bit longer because he's there pining for that jersey? I think so. And a McGregor that's at his best for even longer, it's a very good thing to have for our football club. And that type of discussion, that type of thinking leads us directly to where I want to go next, and this is why we are talking about it and where this rumour came from. And the truth is, this one has apparently been on the cards now for a wee while, especially before the January winter break, where Rangers were apparently monitoring this player's contract situation, and a couple of months go by and he confirms he will not be signing a contract extension and not be staying in St Mirren. Well, this rumour just went completely into overdrive, especially considering we let go of Fods and we let go of Anik, and with the plan that's apparently in place for young Robbie McCrory, it's certainly just been churning around non-stop for the last couple of weeks. Now, it's not a sexy Rangers rumour, it's not being clickbaited from here, here and here because it'll sell clicks and it'll get people to look, but is it a rumour that's based on a position and ticks a lot of boxes that we need? Aye. And is it a rumour that makes a hell of a lot of sense? Completely. Especially considering just recently Vaclav himself said that it was such an honour to shake Steven Gerrard's hand, and the praise that he gave him really motivates him. Now, as it currently stands right now, he is linked with a German club. I think it's Frankfurt as well, if I'm being brutally honest. However, that was quickly shot down by the man himself during an interview last week, saying his next club would be in Britain. And he also said in the same interview he'd be happy to play in the Scottish Premiership game, but he would not comment on where he would go. The deal is currently being worked out now, and his next club will either be in the Scottish top flight or in the English Championship. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why this rumour continues to linger. It keeps dropping fuel on that all Rangers fire. In fact, he did say one other thing, by the way, that he lives just outside of Glasgow and he really enjoys staying there. But aye, that's it. That's what the man said. And all that transitions us perfectly to the question of today's video. And now you know just a little bit more about the player and a little bit more about the old rumour. What is your thoughts and opinions on this? I'm asking you watching today's video. Do you think, one, that Rangers should sign the man, and two, do you believe that he will? And whilst you're hopefully getting your thoughts and opinions out there, I'll give you mine very, very briefly. One, do I think Rangers should sign him? Absolutely, lads. I've probably already answered that, but it ticks a hell of a lot of boxes and it lessens the load on McGregor going into the next season as well. And I just think having this lad for the cup competitions and keeping McGregor on his toes just completely makes sense. But two, do I actually think this will happen? Well, this is going to be very rare for the Rangers rumours, but it's going to be a double yes to the first and second one. I do see something in this, and I do think the man will sign a 1 or 2 year deal at the football club. And now that me and thee have had their say, let's sit back, relax and hear from the people on Twitter then, shall we? There's been 803 votes already and there's still 42 minutes remaining. That's sensational, nation. Thank you so much. But I asked them the exact same question as I asked you. In your opinion, should Rangers sign the keeper? Well, 82% of the people votes yes. Seems as if a lot of people's been paying attention to the man, which I like to see. First one in comes from Barney Stinson, and he says, I said yes, but this is in the exception of McCrory getting another season's first team experience and Vaclav in as our number 2. He's shown himself to be quality keeper in his own right, so he'd be great signing, especially for free. Robbie Collins writes in, absolutely, having watched him, he is class and would be a good signing for Rangers. Dickie writes in, would be a good backup for Shagger and would let McCrory go out and loan again and gain more experience. Joshua McGinty writes in, very decent second keeper if McGregor loses his nut as he's prone to do. Also lets McCrory go out and get more top flight minutes. Stevie B writes in, stats show he's an excellent keeper, great backup with potential to take the number 1 jersey when the legend retires. Don't, Stevie B. Ross McGee writes in, only thing I see stopping it as he doesn't strike me as the type who would want to be second choice. Very good point there. Alpha Chino writes in, absolutely best keeper statistically in the league. Kevin Wakecombe writes in, very good goalkeeper, didn't just play well against us but played really well against the rest of the league. If it wasn't for him, St Mirren's goal difference would be a lot worse. Definitely would sign him. The fact he's on a free makes this even better. Robbie writes in, would be a reliable backup for McGregor, send McCrory out on loan to get more first team minutes. There seems to be a very common theme here with the people's opinion. We're lining up, ladies and gentlemen, we're lining up. Jimmy writes in, solid as a rock, would be a great signing. And Dal writes in, the man is slept on, he's genuinely outrageous. And as it's the last one, we'll scroll all the way up, we'll scroll all the way down, and we'll stop it right here. And it comes from Stuart Grant, and he writes in, would be a great signing, sadly McGregor can't go on forever. And he would be a great replacement, and young McCrory would hopefully get the cup games to bleed him in the future. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people. You've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been CJ Nova 992. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.